Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show today is A Woman's Prerogative, Part 1, because we have Part 2 later this evening. Our topic is volunteering. We're going to talk about who we support and why. This is such an important topic. As you know, across the world, so many different things going on, and if we can lend a hand, if we can pitch in, if we can help lift somebody up, why not do it? I'm not here alone. As you know, we have our panel of beautiful women from across the world. Let's welcome them to the program. Jenetta Barry and the Epiphany Process, welcome.
Hello, everybody. Lovely to be here again in chilly Kenya, as you can see.
Well, we're glad that you're with us. Also, Dr. Madalene Chan, welcome.
Hi, everyone. Hi. So happy, so happy. I love this program, and I love being together with all you beautiful women, souls.
Thank you. We love you too. Yeah. Caroline HEWARD, the Harley Street stress expert, welcome.
Hello. Always wonderful to be here. It's like normality when I come here.
It is nice to get away from everything and just have some fun, like we're sitting around a table and just chatting. So let's get into the work that you're doing so that people who are joining us for the first time can understand, what does Jenetta Barry do and how does she help people? We're not talking about the volunteering. We're just talking about what you do for a living.
Oh, okay. So I help people with the Epiphany process, which is a process that I studied and researched after great loss, having lost my 16-year-old daughter, Jenny, to suicide. And I've helped many people all around the world, from terrorist attack victims to everyday problems, being able to bring that trauma or that anxiety into a place of open-hearted manageability. And then I also have our charity arm of the Epiphany process called World Jenny's Day. Jenny, my daughter, died on World Mental Health Day, the 10th of October. And we now use performing arts and the arts throughout the year to help people gain tools and to see a different way to depression and suicide, and to normalize it and to normalize the conversations around depression and suicide. And on the 10th of October, we have a celebration of a year of many happenings using performing arts and the arts.
Well done. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much. Also, we will be pulling up any websites that you'd like us to have a look at. So just mute yourself, please, and then type it into the private chat and I'll bring it up. Caroline, how about you?
Hello. I literally help people best their stress. So if you are suffering with any type of stress, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, behavioral, whether you're having relationship issues, whether you've had a recent bereavement, whether you're struggling at work, whether you're finding it difficult to sleep, whether you're having a challenge at work, with your family, with friends, whatever it is that's breaking you down and moving you into a state of stress and unwellness, I literally help you break through using a root cause therapy process, using the chakra psychology, and you will feel incredibly relaxed and you'll get an incredible deep and profound sleep. I offer a free consultation on Zoom, Skype, or you can call me. You can reach me on nomorestress@live.co.uk, or you can and tell me where you're coming from and what you'd like help with, and I look forward to helping you bust your stress.
Bust your stress, bust your stress. Everybody go and bust your stress. All right.
No, you're going to be the singer for that, Dr. Jacalyn.
We'll put that on the list. Dr. Shan, what about you?
Well, I'm known as a creative heart awakened. And basically it means that I started with singing and songwriting and being in the music industry. And from there, I met Dr. Jacalyn, who helped to open up my, how can I say, my knowledge and experience to put it into courses. And therefore, I work with Dr. Jacalyn on courses for the power of elevated listening and about listening to our voice, listening to the music, listening how we can empower our lives, connect to our creative genius works to become the best, higher version of ourselves and be connected to our heart, because it's our heart that moves us forward in this life, because we have to lead and follow our heart, follow love. That's what we've got to do. And that's what I do. I open up the heart within you so that it has a massive knock-on effect, a big chain reaction to help empower you, empower your inner life, your outer life, and bring it to a harmonious balance where you can be finally on your divine path in this life.
Outstanding. Thank you. Thank you. So many heart-centric people here today. So I have pulled up websites, but let's talk a little bit about what passion you have for which particular organization. Who are you aligned with? I'll start myself. I'm very much dedicated to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. And as you know, I've had ulcerative colitis for 33 years. And so I found the organization in 2018, and I am on the board. I'm also a support group facilitator, and I'm a captain of 3 teams during the year where we fundraise, and it's through either the Take Steps Walk, the Guts and Glory Race for Cures, and also the Spin for Cures. So that's what I'm passionate about, and I'm going to pull up their website just so people know what it is. And this is a place where you can make a donation. So if you know someone who's been impacted with IBD, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, and you want to help, you can go to Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org, and you can also you can find out more information about the organization. But I can share with you that they absolutely gave me a reason to keep living. So I'll talk a little bit more about that after we go around to my esteemed panel. Jenetta, you are on mute.
Helps to unmute. So yes, as much as possible, because my main charity is attached to my business, obviously that's what I put most of my focus in. With that happening, it brings in a lot of people in the performing arts and the arts who I support and I back all the time. And one of them is one of World Jenny's Day's ambassadors, Emma Jane Taylor. And Emma Jane's charity is very close to my heart. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about her once I've told you a bit more about World Jenny's Day. So this is the website for World Jenny's Day. This is the homepage. And Jenny died on the 10th of October, and we only realized some while after she died that she died on World Mental Health Day. So this has grown. We're now in the 4th year of World Jenny's Day, and we've got World Jenny's Day co-executive producer here who will introduce herself just now as well. And of course, Dr. Jacalyn, this is the second year that you and USA Global TV and Radio have been part of World Jenny's Day. And for me, it's been so heartwarming because we did the first one in 2020 during COVID, and it was a little thing. It took a lot to put together for the first one, and it was a little thing, but it had a great impact. We had so much positive feedback, and each year it's just mushroomed and grown exponentially. And we've got fundraisings that are pretty awesome as well that go on here. Here's some more of the page. If you go down, there's the fundraising from bike rides across Africa, and our other ambassador, Karen Dark, who's a British gold Paralympian. She's cycling up Kilimanjaro after having gone across Africa with us. Just amazing. So here are all our ambassadors. Now, there's Karen, by the way, on the second one down. That's Karen, who's with us for this fundraiser across Africa and up Mount Kilimanjaro. And if you go down a little bit further, we'll get to Emma Jane. I call her EJ for short. There's Emma Jane. And Emma Jane Taylor's a radio presenter, and in fact, she was just on 2 newscasts or breakfast programs in the last few days about this. And she has a charity called Project 9010 or 910. It's Project 910. Get it right. No, it's 9010. So I brought. This is something very close to my heart and actually is taking quite a lot of courage for me to share. So Dr. Jacalyn, I'd love to get back to full screen with me. So what Emma Jane does is she was groomed as a 12-year-old by a family friend, sexually groomed and abused by him for many years till she finally managed to get away from it. And Project 9010 actually is that 90% of the people who are abused or who abuse are known to the person that is being abused, and only 10% is the man or the person or whoever it is in the white van down the road. That's a staggering one. And it's something I haven't talked about very much before, but I am talking more and more about it. And Emma Jane's taken out promoting a T-shirt that people are wearing. And this is it. I've got mine. It's come all the way from UK, and here it is. And it basically says, whoops, let me get it right. Not my shame. I'm not afraid to say I was sexually abused as a child. I was just a child. It's not my shame. And many people all around the world are now wearing this T-shirt. So that's very close to my heart. And EJ, Emma Jane and I are meeting tomorrow to see what we can do with the participation of her. She's got a theatrical school for young teenagers, and we're going to see what they can do for World Jenny's Day. So anything that's connected to theatre, performing arts, the arts, I'm there supporting and backing, as well as this one I've explained now.
Thank you very much, Jenetta, and thanks for sharing that. That was really moving. Something I just want to share before we move on, we're getting a number of comments about various charities, and I think it's important that there's so many people in need. There's so many people who need help. And I feel that each of us is aligned with the charities that we're aligned with because we have a personal connection to them in some way. And so, Jenetta, because you have your own charity, it would be great if everyone in the world who is watching or commenting, if they donated to your charity, but the likelihood of that is not happening, right?
Absolutely. The people who donate to me really have their heart in it. And the people that join really relate because they've experienced mental health challenges. And then it's easier to give. But it's really difficult to divide how you're going to give that out. And also it's about being able to be sure that all the charities are charities. That's very important too.
Excellent point. Thank you. So let's go over to Bust Your Stress, Harley Street stress expert, Caroline.
Well, I'm very affiliated and aligned with Universal Peace Federation, who are a peace organisation. And during the last couple of years, they've developed a very large charity status. It took them a number of years to develop that status. And they work with the United Nations, and they work in conjunction with the United Nations on the economic agenda to create world peace. And one of the reasons I'm very aligned with them is because that's my part in what I want to do. I want to play my part in creating world peace. And so I aligned myself with them literally within 3 months of my baby brother passing away. My baby brother passed away on the 10th of August 2018. And it made me consider what I was doing and where I was going. And I didn't feel I was doing enough. And so I decided to give myself 3 months and then find some organisations to align myself with and work with. And within 3 months, I was looking and researching who to align with, and the Universal Peace Federation came up. I went to my first meeting in 2019, January 2019, and they awarded me as an ambassador for peace. Now, why I'm so passionate about this organisation is because they're teachers. They're not just taking money, they're mentoring, they're teaching. And behind Universal Peace Federation is a church called the Unification Church. So there is a whole set of other characteristics that I'm very aligned with. And it's where I redeveloped and reunited my relationship with God after being out of the church environment for 40 years. And so Universal Peace Federation is very, very close to my heart. It does incredible work all over the world, and they are working with all sorts of politicians and people in government. So they're not just making charity for charity's sake. They are actually working at high levels of government and the high levels within other countries and organisations. Something else that's very passionate for me about this organisation is they work on the ground, and they are passionate about all things that create world peace. They're not actually looking at finding world peace through not being in war, but actually developing human relationships by interrelating and creating relationships with different opposing people that are naturally at war. They're getting the higher levels of government and the higher levels of the countries to come together and talk in peace talks.
Wow. Thank you, Caroline. Who would like to comment on anything that Caroline said?
Wow. I mean, Caroline, the journey you've been on, I had no idea you'd lost a brother in 2018. That's quite recent. And the quest you've taken on it is so admirable, and what you've been able to do with it, just huge kudos to you and huge respect. I had no idea. Huge amount of love as well.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
And we want to welcome all of our followers on your networks as well. Jenetta, Caroline, Dr. Chan, welcome. Thank you for joining us from LinkedIn, from Facebook. Jenetta, are there some people there that you'd like to reach out to and say hello?
Yes, I've just, I can't go into both, but I'm on Facebook right now. And there's somebody that goes way back in my past, and that's Pippa Duffy, and she's watching today. Pippa is very much in the theatre. I first saw her in the Rocky Horror Picture Show in Cape Town, an amazing model and actress. So it's wonderful to have you with us, Pippa. And Nana, you're here, Nana Gross Woodley, and Nana is here in Kenya. And we have a history over about 10 years now, Nana, and she's a great fan of the Epiphany process. So welcome to you both.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We love to have new people, new friends following us, and we welcome you to join us on this and our 30 to 40 live shows each week. Over to you, Dr. Chan. You're on mute, dear.
There we go. Apologize. Yeah, my story is a little bit different because every day I am volunteering and helping. Well, people reach out to me from all walks of life and they ask for help. And I help because I feel it's right to help. So I'm not as well. I'm belonging to World Jenny's Day. My heart is with World Jenny's Day, absolutely. But my heart is also, and you might think this is really weird, all right? I'm continually, nearly on a 24/7, honestly, I'm helping people. And that's not so I get something out of it. No, it's because I feel it's my gift. I'm here to help people, to get them on the right footing on what they want to do, and to help them get their business up, and help them with sharing posts, help them to recommend people for them, to help them. Sometimes I go to a charity shop and I'll buy something and I'll go, what have I bought this for? It's not even for me. And then I will end up meeting someone that wants that particular clothing or object or product. So I'm always, even the part, maybe I'm too much with it, to the point that I actually don't focus so much on myself. I'm out there like an octopus, and they come to me and I help them with that. So yeah, volunteering in that way from my heart, because that's what it is from your heart, and it's humanity, for humanity. And I'm doing this on a daily basis. Because abundance is not just money, abundance is time, abundance is that abundance of words to say, abundance of energy, helping, sharing, caring. That's who I am.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Chan. We all know where your heart is. It's always in the right place. So yeah. And so Jenetta, for someone who actually has her own charity, fundraising in and of itself is one piece, and that is exhausting. That's what I find. It is exhausting asking people for money over and over again. And some people get offended. Some people, they don't think that the money really goes to where it's supposed to go. So taking aside all of that, just for people who are volunteering to raise money, you actually have founded a charity, which is a whole other level. Tell us a little bit about the process that you've gone through.
Wow, yes. The process is not easy at all. There are definitely days where I wake up and I go, and I'm doing this because, let me think about it, because it is very complicated, and it's about being able to be with people that really understand what you're doing. When you have a team behind you that gets it, that makes such a difference. And that's why World Jenny's Day's been so successful to date, because it's not just me. It's been, and some of those team members have come and had to go, others have stayed. My VA who's volunteered her services happened to be my PA 30 years ago. And she stepped forward and gone, I don't want any payment now until things are up and running. I mean, it's such a blessing, because what we're doing is big, and trying to do it on your own, you just cannot do it. A charity is teamwork, and it's getting the team together that really aligns with who you are. For me, everybody with a big open heart who aligns with what I do and we do. It just makes such a difference to growing the charity. And at the end of the day, the fundraising, especially as a new charity, I think the biggest, scariest thing for me and us is that we're making plans and still waiting for the funds. And that can be very, very daunting. But we all know that what we're doing is so valuable and so important, as going to have such an impact, and will be so enjoyable for people when they take part on, say, the 10th of October. We all know it's starting to come in. We've had a better year fundraising and cash flow wise this year, and it'll grow and grow and grow. But it can be a very lonely, daunting. When things don't go right, it's almost crushing at times. But when you've got the bigger picture and the longer vision in there, and you keep to that, and you keep your heart open, then magic starts happening. And that's what's happening with World Women's Day.
Thank you, Jenetta. That really is a huge undertaking, and I really applaud you for it. Such an important mission. And one thing I wanted to share, I've been fundraising for the Crohn's Colitis Foundation since, as I mentioned, I think it was 2019, I started fundraising. And I had a loyal group of people who were donating year after year, and then they just stopped. And so I actually asked a couple of people, hey, what's going on? And what I learned was that while they wanted to support me, they had other things going on in their life. People were diagnosed with certain illnesses and things that really were near and dear, and they were living with them every day. So I know for me, in addition to what I'm doing here, I'm going to start volunteering for the Alzheimer's Association, because that's near and dear to my heart. So that's something that I want people to remember also, is that there's so many great causes out there, but it has to be personal. That's how you get somebody to go into their wallet. It becomes personal. And the second thing is you have to be able to verify that it is what is a 503c? That's what I think it is here in the States, that that's the designation for a charity, so that people feel comfortable that the money is actually going where it's supposed to be going. Thoughts or comments?
Absolutely spot on.
I was going to say, when I was younger, well, I mean, when I was about, just before I went to Malta, I used to go on the streets, and we were called chuggers. And chuggers, what we would do is, for example, today you're going to reach out for Leonard Cheshire charity. So there you go with your team leader, and there'd be 5 or 6 of us, and we'd have to make sure we get there for the early morning rush in London. And we would actually go up to people with the, and so we had such a short time to talk about the charity, to raise awareness and get them to literally sign a direct debit there and then. And we were supposed to get at least, honestly, maximum was 10 in 3 hours. But they were okay with about three. They were fine with 3, as long as you could reach your 3. And I've got to tell you, it was so difficult. 1 minute was Ormond, next minute was Leonard Cheshire, next minute was Bernardo's. And there was a few of us with different charities that day. So then the next day you swap the charity to approach people to become passionate and do a direct debit each month. And I'm telling you, that was so difficult. Yet the bigwigs, the big fat cheese, right, were having so much money was generated through chuggers. And it was, you're just thinking, how much is really going to the people that are really needed, who are suffering for the, with the charity.
Yeah,
it was really. Have you ever done that? Have you ever done any where you go out in the street and
to do on the street?
Yeah,
I've done it with the Yeah, with the SPCA, the R.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't here. It's the KSPCA. But
Yeah.
from so small, about 4 years old, with our dogs, we used to be on the streets every year to collect funds.
Yeah.
And it is that, you know, you've got to get as a child growing up, I had to be very, very strong. And if people were rude, they were rude. It was their problem, not mine. But yeah, it's quite a thing. It's an art on the street. It's an art.
It is an art on the street, and that's why they were asking for actors, actresses, people, extrovert people to come in and be larger than life and get these. A lot of people that go into work in the city. Can you imagine early morning? They've got to rush off to their work, and suddenly, oh, have you got 5 minutes? It's like, or 2 minutes, and one gentleman just said to me, "Don't worry, just give it, and I'll just sign it." Boom. But there were star ones. There were star ones. But there was a lot of abuse in words thrown at me. I know it wasn't personal, but it felt personal at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's
apart from that, what you were saying is it's finding out where that money is actually going. Having said that, it makes it very difficult when you're forming the charity and you're pouring heart, soul, and money into that charity from your personal pocket, and registering a charity. I don't know about anywhere else, but registering a charity in UK, because of that happening, there are so many loose ends that are tied up in there, that you can't do this and you can't do that, and it gets to a point where you go, well, you know, sometime the money I'm putting in does need to be reimbursed because it's my money, not the charities. We've not earned enough. So it's finding that between the rock and the hard place in registering a charity to make sure that the monies are really being used correctly, and that the people who are putting in are being honored as well. It's quite a difficult balancing act.
Yes, I agree, Janetta. I mean, I don't know if you have NGOs, for example, that go and act for the charity abroad. There's been a lot of news lately about NGOs.
Yeah.
You're smiling, Dr. Jacalyn.
Sorry, I put Caroline up. I couldn't see. I put the wrong person up. Sorry about that.
Weird. That was so weird. I was speaking to my...
I mean, Caroline's talking, but her mouth is...
Oh, my God. Sorry, Caroline.
Yeah, and then there's another thing with benevolence that I feel quite strongly about, is the old adage of give a man a fish and he eats, but show him how to fish and he eats for a lifetime. And there have been many, many charities and NGOs in the past that have dished out money left, right, and center to rescue people and feed people. And I'm not saying that's wrong, because it isn't. But what happens is when you just give, and don't give the people who are suffering with whatever the tools and so on to get through that on their own in the future, they become dependent on being given to. And that's where I've seen a lot of downfall in that, let's say Africa, for example, where it's actually disempowered a lot of people rather than it's helped them in the short term, really helped them, but in the long term it's kept them disempowered. And it's another thing I'm very aware of. When I look at other charities, I check it out very, very carefully to see what it is they're actually doing to help the people in the long term.
Well, I worked for Marie Curie Cancer Care in the marketing area as part of my corporate life. And as part of that, it was a very fun part, because we worked very much in organising the copy and the advertising and working with the very sexy aspects of the marketing. So we worked with people like Procter & Gamble for the Ladies Driving Challenge. And so I was responsible for coming up with some racy copy. And that was the fun part. And when I was working with the community part of Marie Curie Cancer Care, then as part of that, they had the daffodil that they were selling. And I did my stint as part of working with the company on the street. I have to say it wasn't my favourite spot, because I felt that I was much better in the marketing department than I was on the street. It was quite cold, and it was not my favourite place. I'd much rather raise money by doing a corporate raffle or doing a dinner, sort of selling raffle tickets. That's sort of where I feel more comfortable. But, I've done the street stuff, and I played my part. And at the same time, it was challenging as well, because of the comments that Dr. Madalene has raised about being on the street, and the feedback that you get, and people's attitudes. It wasn't for me, and I felt that I was just much better at that corporate end, raising money through raffles, through people donating gifts, sponsorship. That was my forte. And one of the things that I did in 1992 as part of my junior chamber years, I joined junior chamber and raised 750 Christmas presents for needy children in Birmingham. And I got the local Lord Mayor to attend and cut the ribbon. And I got the local fire brigade to come and man the tree for a bit. And we had local press, radio, TV coverage, and that was before I actually went into marketing and PR. And that was really, really fun. But one of the things that got to me was that the first day I was there, and somebody, a little child, chose one of the tags, and they came back with a bike for a child aged 8. And it made me, I just broke down, I just cried. And I said, this is what I do, this is what it's about, but I can't be at the front end. It doesn't work for me. I'm too emotional. And, what it made me realize is a coalface, you really see the human aspect of people's generosity, because it was a child that chose the tag and said, I want to buy a present for this child. And they came back with the bike, and it was just extraordinary, very heartwarming. And it showed me that there was humanity, even in our small children, how much they aligned with something like that, and something that was local in the area.
That's so touching. That's so
really
heartwarming.
Is. Absolutely.
Never knew that, Caroline, about you. Wow. You're unveiling some beautiful magical treasures.
Oh, I've been around.
Love it. You've been around. Oh, you got to be careful how that goes. That's cool.
Gets around.
It gets around.
I've done my fair share of doing stuff.
That's what I love about a program like this, is that we've not, any of us, met in person, although I can't believe it, quite frankly. I really can't believe it. And it takes a program like this to where we step into our truth and our light, to learn things about people that they wouldn't normally go around talking about. And I mean, Caroline, you've blown me away today. I had no idea.
Thank you.
There's always more with Caroline.
Well, I had a very big socialite lifestyle, and it was very much within junior chamber. I actually was awarded an award called the Most Outstanding Contribution to the City of Birmingham for that project.
Wow.
And I consistently did that. And it was more the PR and the marketing aspects before, the actual, I got other people to do the groundwork on the days, but it was just much more, getting the Christmas tree into Littlewoods. It was in Littlewoods, and I got it into the pavilions, which was a huge shopping mall. But it was just sort of the insight and the foresight of taking it from a little 4-foot Christmas tree behind a pillar at Littlewoods and taking it to a massive shopping centre. And then the PR and the kudos for that shopping centre was amazing. And then, you know, sort of, so it was just about looking at something with really fresh eyes and deciding to do something really different. And I was awarded the Most Outstanding Contribution to the City of Birmingham award for about 4 years running. And that was because of the things that I did. You know, that was, it was a time for me that was precious, because it was something that I was able to do from my heart, and I could do it because I had some skills too.
Skills you certainly do have an abundance of. Outstanding. This has been a really important show, and I thank you. And for those who are just joining us, this is a topic that we are doing this particular week. We may do it again. Next week will probably be a very different topic. So I think it's important that everybody got to share a little bit. And as we close out, Jenetta, what would you like to say to the audience?
Just to say that I just feel the more we can step into who we truly are without feeling fearful of being judged or being judgmental ourselves, the more we can have open-hearted, inspiring conversations like this off screen. And I really would encourage you that if you'd like to live a life that's more in alignment with that, to chat to one of us. We've all got the skills to do it, and I'd love to chat to you too if what I do aligns with you with the epiphany process, because there are skills there too. And wish you a really heart-opening, warming week.
Thank you, Jenetta. Always a pleasure. Caroline, what would you like to say to the audience?
I'd like to share something that I feel I've learnt along the way in my years, and that is dance like you've never danced before. Dance to your heart's content, because it's the internal experience that you feel, and it's not about being on show. If you can dance on your own with your headset on, loud and proud, and you're just dancing and singing along, it will make you feel different. And I had a beautiful friend who passed away in May 2020. I used to share with him, he was a Tibetan monk and a lama, and my bestest friend and my mentor. And he used to say to me, you know, when you share that you dance and you sing, he said, that's what it's all about. When you found that space, that it's not about what people think and where you need to be seen, but what people feel when they do activities. It's what you feel internally. He said, you've made it. So dance and sing to your heart's content, because you will change your inner experience and you will feel good.
Thank you, Caroline. That was beautiful. Dr. Chan.
All right. All I can say is there's 7 days in the week. Okay. So each day have something that's special. So maybe one day, this is the day you honor someone that, and you could post them as well on social media, but you honor someone for their work, for their heart, someone else rather than yourself. One day you can look at well-beingness of yourself, at least where you have at least some me time. Another day you choose your favorite song and you dance it out. Another day you choose your favorite song and sing it out. Another day you can go walk in nature. Another day you can go out and help someone, whether that's giving money to someone on the streets or helping someone, helping the elderly, helping anyone that's asking for help. And another one is, you got to make sure that you pamper yourself and laugh. Have a day of watching films or watching a comedy and laugh. Tell yourself jokes. Honestly, have a good old laugh at yourself. Another day, think of yourself as like a model. Is that 7? How many is that? Have I carried on too much?
I think we're up to 20. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, we're up to 20 already.
kidding. That was excellent. And I just want to thank you.
It is.
And I also want to thank our fans for putting comments. We didn't get to them today. That doesn't mean that we don't see them. We do, and we honor you for being part of this show. So we'll be signing off now. Our next show is coming up. It's a brand new show called The Planet Earth Show that I'll be co-hosting with Mr. Roland Friedel. And our first guest is Mr. Simon McDonald. We'll be talking about wind and waves, wind turbines, and how it affects the oceans. So stay tuned for that. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you. We'll be back very shortly in a few minutes. Bye for now.
Bye, ladies. Bye, everyone. Bye, guys.